ideal holds us to a too high standard, to that perfectionist view of our best. The optimal standard lets us relax and enjoy what we're doing without constant self-judgment. Just quiet that critical voice inside your head and focus on the task at hand. In part 1 of this book, we'll sketch what an optimal state feels like, based on journals kept by hundreds of people that outline the inner architecture of having a good day. Then we'll see how that private edifice looks from the outside, using the lens of outstanding workplace performance. Since we're both psychologists, we look for hard research findings to guide our thinking. Following the research leads us to see a critical component of an optimal state in being intelligent about our emotions. In other words, emotional intelligence. Seeing how workplace metrics for excellence map from the outside, what people report from their inner experience was for us an epiphany. One that points to how emotional intelligence offers a doorway to personal excellence. Though the abilities of emotional intelligence go by many names these days, we conclude that the active ingredients in optimal performance hinge on emotional intelligence. We draw on decades of scientific discoveries bearing on emotional intelligence, with direct implications for that optimal state, and what keeps us out of it. Having a satisfying day, rather than some mind-blowing peak experience while in flow, offers a key to achievement and fulfillment, not to mention avoiding burnout. We see many ways emotional intelligence offers each of us the inner resources to more readily access this optimal state. In this book, you'll find practical methods for entering your optimal state more readily, rather than having to await those elusive elements that will pitch you into a flow moment. Why this now? For Dan, this book represents a culmination and confirmation of a hunch he had almost 3 decades ago, that emotional intelligence offers a map for being at our best. This, his 5th book on the topic, harvests a rich bounty of research affirming his original hunch. Cary and Dan were co-founders of the Consortium for Research on Emotional Intelligence in Organizations, a few years after the first scholarly article on the topic appeared in 1990, and were co-chairs for the consortium's first 25 years. The consortium's mission? Encourage sound research that integrates the standards of academic methodology with the practical needs of operating organizations. The consortium was meant to bring together practitioners who are trying out applications of emotional intelligence in organizations like business and schools, with academic researchers who can apply their methodological skills to such studies. Now, more than a quarter century later, there are such studies galore. While in the early years of the concept, several critiques complained, justifiably, that there was scant evidence to support how emotional intelligence matters for, say, job performance or leadership, by now, a substantial case can be made for its importance for effectiveness of all kinds, especially when self-mastery and empathy, social skills, or stress resilience matters, which is all too often. We came together to harvest this rich research bounty. In part 1 of this book, we'll delve into the ingredients of what's happening when we shine and how emotional intelligence can help get us there. In part 2, we'll update our understanding of the competencies that translate emotional intelligence into effective action. We'll unpack the basic ingredients of emotional intelligence in our self-awareness, how we manage ourselves, in attuning to other people, and in putting that all together for effective relationships. In part 3, we'll explore a particularly important aspect of our lives, working at our best. We'll look at ways emotional intelligence helps us perform optimally, whether as an individual, as a leader, or as a team member. In all these cases, emotional intelligence boosts effectiveness, with a remarkable similarity between the optimal state and the ways research shows emotional intelligence boosts our individual performance in the workplace. We'll detail ways to help anyone upgrade these abilities. And we'll look into what it means to have an emotionally intelligent organization, one where emotional intelligence has become